this basically started as an experiment to see if we can launch a new product, a new brand within the country.
When would you last recollect you were introduced to digital
So I'm a
marketing?
chartered accountant. I worked as a tax consultant and an auditor for many years.
Anything to do with online in India is that of scammers.
You need to be able to understand that things are changing fast, and if you're not changing, you're going to get left behind.
Right.
It's about building that sort of belief that if there is something to be done, I will figure it out. So the idea was never pick a channel and make that a holy grail. The holy grail was how do we improve the customer experience.
What is your message for the next generation of founders?
You need to be absolutely clear on what you're trying to get to and what you're trying to build for.
Hi guys, today is a very special day for me. We're visiting the country head of xppen India, Nishit Shah. Nishit has been a very dear client of Kerkar Media for the past 5-6 years, and I'm very excited to interact with him, get to know from him about his journey, his learnings, his insights, and for all the young entrepreneurs watching this, a message from him as to why you might want to consider entrepreneurship and what are core skill sets you need to have to become a successful entrepreneur. This is Kunal Kerkar and welcome to my channel.
Hi guys, my name is Nishit. I'm the country head for xppen in India. We make pen tablets and tools for designers and creative professionals for both digital writing and digital drawing. You can find us on our website, xppen.co.in, and all e-commerce partners.
Hi Nishit sir. Good
Hi,
afternoon.
Kunal.
Guys. I think this is the first time we're meeting, having worked about 6 to 8 years. I think it was very exciting working with you all these years, and finally glad to have this opportunity to sort of meet with you, understand more about your journey, and lots to learn from this conversation. I think me coming into this conversation, the why of me being here is more of I've always been curious as to what goes on in the mind of a business owner. And since I've not done an MBA, I think this is my MBA in the sense that I get to learn directly from ground zero, and there's obviously takeaways from my audiences, and they can also learn from this. So that's the whole purpose of why I'm doing this. To give you a bit of a summary of this, we're gonna maybe talk about your journey with xppen and understand how it sort of evolved over the last few years, how digital marketing was introduced to you, what it's the impact of digital marketing, and so we build the conversation very naturally from there. Right. So all hands on you, sir. Could you tell me more about yourself, your journey, and sort of how did you land up in this chair today?
So we started xppen in India in 2017.
Right.
And this basically started as an experiment to see if we can launch a new product, a new brand within the country.
Okay.
We did an initial research before launching it, and the idea was to just understand if there is any gap that we can try and fill.
Right.
Unfortunately, I'm not a designer. So launching this product was a steep learning curve for me because one of the primary target audiences is designers.
Right.
So when we did come up with a brand that was looking to launch in India, it was important to get what's our positioning going to be? Is there any right for us to be in this business or for xppen to exist in India back in 2017? So I think that journey from there to being one of the most popular brands in India has been something that's been a very good learning curve for us also.
Right.
For me personally, and for I think everyone being involved in the growth of this, including Kerkar Media.
Right. Awesome. I think that's an interesting insight, and having witnessed that over the last 6 to 7 years has also been remarkable. I think when we first started off with the WordPress website to now it being on Shopify, marketplaces, doing a lot well on social media. It's like all over the place. Could you tell me a little bit more about your career professionally, and sort of how have you evolved through the steps into being now country head of xppen India?
Yeah. So I'll take this back to just starting with what I've studied. So I'm a chartered accountant.
Okay. I did not know that.
Yeah, so I'm a chartered accountant. I worked as a tax consultant and an auditor for many years. Many years being 3 years of articleship, a year after that, post which I dabbled in a couple of businesses. I went on to do my MBA after that to try and understand different facets of business, because CA gave me a very finance heavy perspective.
Right.
But I think there's more to running a business, right?
Right.
You're effectively selling at all points. So there's more to it, and I thought maybe doing an MBA would be something that can add a lot of skills to my toolkit. I did that, and post which I went on to work at one of India's largest companies, Book My Show. So I was working with the founders at Book My Show for about a year and a half, 2 years. Worked on special projects with them. Figured a lot more about really what it is to run a business from them. It was a fantastic experience because it was really thrown into the deep end of the e-commerce ecosystem.
Right.
Really understanding what buying behaviors are, what are customers looking for, how do you find them, how do they find you, and that process. And so I think I took a lot of my learnings from CA, from studying business, and I think mostly from just doing things myself. I think that was key. So putting all of that together was a recipe for trying to scale xppen.
Okay, now this is something I didn't know.
Yeah.
I think this is something we should have had a conversation about a few years ago. Very interesting to know that. I mean, like my mom, you've also done a CA.
Yeah.
That's great. I know it takes a lot of effort, and it sort of also could mean that you're very intelligent. Because it's a difficult
You're
degree
using
to
some
sort of
very
get.
kind words. Thanks.
Awesome. Right. So next, when you sort of moved with XP Pens, right? Could you tell me more about what XP Pen does? Who is it for? And a bit of an introduction to your category of products.
Got it. So xppen is a world leader in digital writing technology. The primary products we sell are called pen tablets. They're used majorly by two broad segments. One is creative professionals. So think of graphic designers, illustrators, animators, and the likes, who use it to draw digitally.
Right.
Drawing earlier was done on pen and paper, but for maybe the last decade or a little more than that, it is actually moved almost entirely on the commercial sense for digital, because that's really where attention is. You and me are major consumers of digital content now, so it makes sense for art to also follow that trajectory, which is why tools that help digital creators have grown in popularity, and that's where XP Pen comes in.
Awesome.
That's one primary use case that we try and solve for. How can artists create better in the digital world? Another one, which was actually something that came up extensively during COVID and led to like a real tailwind that we had, was online teaching, and just adopting to, say, a digital workspace. So earlier classes were conducted like pretty much always offline. A very small percentage of people would be conducting classes online.
Right.
But COVID was actually a situation where things had to move online.
Yes.
Classes moved online. Biggest colleges and schools moved online. And I think now, even though things have opened up, there's a comfort that people have found with working in online workspaces.
Correct.
And that's where pen tablets have been big enablers for teachers to move online. Think of a teacher trying to teach mathematics on a Zoom class. How do you draw a mathematical equation or a diagram? You can't type it out.
Correct.
That's where pen tablets come in. And teachers traditionally are of an older age. So for them, working with technology, but that really resembles what an offline experience is, works very well. So pen tablets gives that pen on paper experience, but digitally. So for us, these are the two primary segments we focus on, and both have been growing steadily.
Okay, so I think my learning from this entire dialect, right, up until now, is been a lot about creating a sort of Delta 4 experience. And so if I expand on that, this is a learning from Kunal Shah, Cred.
Yeah.
He happened to mention in a few events, a phenomenon known as Delta 4. When you create an experience that is so superior to its predecessor, when it has a difference of 4. And to give you an example, this could be an Uber. Back in the day, we have the Kali Pili here in Mumbai. Wave our hands. It's on his mood if he wants to come. No. So it's a very poor experience for the end user.
Correct.
But with Uber, Ola, it's on a tap of your phone. You get the cab. You know what you're paying. The start point, end point is very clear. So the experience is a Delta 4, which creates something called as an irreversible behavior. Someone who's now accustomed to Uber, like me, the team, we all come here, using Uber. We've not taken a Kali Pili because it doesn't exist in our behavior anymore. So I think when you explained how do you teach mathematics on digitally, I think pen tablets do provide in a way a Delta 4 experience for the students as well as the teacher. So that does make that behavior sort of irreversible. Have you experienced this with your customers, or do you see that it was maybe a transitional period specific to COVID?
I think definitely. I mean, during COVID, the shift was massive.
Right.
We had pretty much everyone trying to move online. Most of them successfully moved online. Now that things have opened up, I think there are a few of them that have found comfort with it. So I
Right.
think there's a balance of people who have stuck onto the online only model.
Right.
But now I think it's hybrid. Now I
Okay.
think the same teachers are conducting classes online,
Right.
but are also hosting like a session for 500
Got
students.
it. Got it.
Some of the biggest coaching classes that we work with now have classrooms filled with students, but the same is being telecasted online. So you could have people not wanting to, for example, go to Kota all the way.
Right.
The same classes are now being conducted online.
I understand.
So I think there's something
Of
in it
course,
for both.
technology has made things convenient for
Right.
for everyone.
I think it just opens up the opportunity
Absolutely.
for your addressable market.
Absolutely. Right. I think moving on, when would you last recollect you were introduced to digital marketing? What were your initial thoughts about it? Because I think the reason I asked this question to everyone is when I was introduced to digital marketing, I think a big fire in me was to sort of take this label of the country, India, wherein we're usually prefer to online scammers, right? With the whole call center scams, with these raids, etc. The aura or the image people have of digital marketers, not specifically digital marketers, but anything to do with online in India, is that of scammers. So again, obviously, it's a mission to change that through Kerkar Media. That's one of the things we're chasing actively. How were you introduced to digital marketing? What were your initial impression of digital marketing when you heard of the word?
So I think I've seen I think personally I have transitioned a lot in the way I have been looking at these digital platforms myself.
Right.
So there's so back in 2011, 2012, before digital became what it is now.
Right.
I remember having a chat with a friend of mine, and he was talking to me about how shopping is moving online.
Okay.
For clothes, for example. Right. And he was talking to me about it, and my reaction to it was, well, this is just not going to happen. I think in India there's a real trust deficit.
Right.
I want to go and try the product out and make sure that it's the right size, fit, material, etc., and all of that. And I was so averse to it, and I was like, I will never buy 5,000 rupee product online. And this was 2010, 2011. I was just very averse to it. And come to today, I think I've seen a big shift. And now, for me, for example, digital is the first mode of purchase for pretty much everything.
Right.
I still do prefer physical experiences for a lot of things, but honestly, the convenience of digital is just unmatched. So I've actually made a full 180 on my belief on it as well. I don't think I was ready for the digital change that has come in, but now the convenience is just too much.
Right. I think there's a Delta 4 experience, I guess.
Right. It's just,
and I think you
superior.
sort of move from someone who is maybe hesitant about digital to someone who's now a strong advocate of digital marketing and purchase of products online as opposed to an offline experience. I think an example of that could be one of the xppen products, the Deco Pro. I think it's priced at a price point that I think when you said that you're not going to buy something worth 5,000, 6,000 online back in 2021, but we now see behaviors where people buy products worth 50,000, 1 lakh rupees online. So that, of course, has made a full circle over the last 1 decade or so.
It's made a full circle. So for me, I think personally, I have had to learn. My beliefs have evolved as more information has come to light.
Correct.
But now when I look back at what I thought back then, I'm just like, man, what was I even thinking? It's just so obvious that this was going to happen.
Right. Absolutely. How would you sort of summarize the impact digital marketing has had specifically with xppen India?
Massive, actually. So when we launched xppen in India, we were pretty much a last entrant in terms of this product category. Other brands have been in India for much longer than us. So we had to really find what our place in this industry is going to be. Being young for us, I think our entire average age in the organization is 26, 27. So if we're talking about, if we're talking about what our right to win is, I think we had to really make a hypothesis for it when we started out, saying that what could we do differently? Probably building on the experience that you're talking about, right? How do you improve the customer experience?
Correct.
So I think for us, digital marketing was one thing that we thought maybe the other guys are not doing that well. maybe we can come in and amp it up.
Yeah.
That probably plays to our strong suit as well, given that we are younger.
Right.
We're probably a little more comfortable with digital technology and these platforms. So that was something that we banked on, and we went digital first. We didn't have the distribution reach of someone who was there in India 15 years before us.
Right.
So we had to build our own moats, our own way to distribute to people, and online was our
So
was our real ace.
So you'd say that I think a large part of impact that the organization has made here in India is fairly through digital, and not so much through offline. If you compare the two, right?
So for us, it was it's about how do we improve the experience significantly. That's really what we wanted to do.
Right.
And we figured that our audience is below the age of 35.
Right.
They do crave a seamless digital experience, and that's what we tried and improved. So the idea was never pick a channel and make that a holy grail. The holy grail was how do we improve the customer experience. And we realized that they are online.
Right.
So we need to get there.
Makes sense.
And we were equipped to get there as well.
Makes sense. I think in the last 6-7 years that we've worked together, I think xppen as a brand has dabbled through a lot of channels of marketing. Right? You have search engine optimization, you have performance marketing, you have marketplace management, there's social media, there's email, there's retention with WhatsApp, there's many channels. If you had to pick your favorite channel, which one would it be and why?
That's a good question. I think that has again evolved. So when we started out, I think performance marketing was a no-brainer. It just felt like no one was paying attention to it. So when we started out, CPCs were really low. Attention was there online, but from customers, but not so much from brands in 2017, 2018. So I think for us, performance marketing was a great push, wherein it was more of an opportunity for us to leapfrog our current position.
Right.
We could punch above our weight out there.
Right. Right.
But I think today, if I had to talk about performance marketing, I'm just going to be burning so much money on it. I think operating only performance marketing without the other supports that you have, the other channels, I think it's going to change. So I think today it's about really creating original content, and I think content distribution becomes like a really strong positioning. So I think that's something that we want to try and move towards, for example. So I think that has changed. First 2 years or something else. As the customer evolves and the industry evolves, I think that changes for us also.
Awesome. I think you did mention being able to punch above your weight, which also gets me to thinking about burn. Has xppen and your mindset? I mean, let's not include xppen in this conversation. As country head, do you feel that brands should pay more attention to metrics such as cost of customer acquisition and lifetime value, or should they focus more on burn it out and then see what happens? What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I think both go kind of hand in hand. If you're going to only focus on burn without really understanding where that burn's going to take you, you're going to. I mean, there are dime a dozen examples of companies that have gone bust because of that, or are still struggling to find a product market fit.
Right.
So I think there has to be a balance between really spending money, but it has to be in a direction and measuring what's the metric you're trying to solve for.
Okay.
If your if your lifetime value of the customer supports a certain acquisition cost, fantastic. Go ahead, spend it. If you're trying to make a behavioral change, I think Ubers of the world spent a lot of money doing that.
Right.
Did they have a considerable moat? I think it's up for anyone's interpretation, right?
Right.
But I think it really is a bit of both. Understanding what your customers are in your industry.
Right. Essentially, I think what you're suggesting maybe comes down to ROI. What is the return on investment on a specific activity that you pick up to do?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I come from a school of thought, and that's how we built xppen as well, where I think bottom line matters extensively. It's not just a top line focused business. For us, bottom line is sacrosanct. And yes, there might be short-term blips and bets or direction that we take, saying that okay, we're ready to sacrifice certain amount of growth or profitability for something. But eventually, the goal is to reach a healthy top line and a bottom line, and not a 20-year eventual goal.
Yeah,
it's more
having something
term.
In the present. Got it. Awesome. So, what is next for xppen? What is next for Nishit? Can you sort of shed some light on that?
So again, we've seen it's a very interesting time actually. So we've seen customer behavior evolve from wanting a lot of digital interaction to now try and move towards analog.
Right.
So people earlier were very happy with just doing things online, screen time, Instagram,
Right.
that kind of engagement levels, and that's where the focus would be for a particular user. But now I think everyone does want to move towards more physical experiences, more of a analog setup. So even when it comes to note taking, for example, can we figure out a way to take these notes that you're, for example, taking in a book?
Right.
Can we take that online and give you the convenience of accessing it online anytime, but still give you the real world experience of writing?
Right.
For example. So I think that's a problem we're trying to solve. We're launching a few new products in this year,
right.
Which people should watch out for as well.
Absolutely. It's quite exciting to sort of experience that firsthand. So very excited to sort of watch that come out and see how it performs in the market.
Yeah.
Very excited. All right. So I think this is more of a little personal question. Having not done an MBA, I've always felt that I might have not. You mentioned at the very start of the conversation that you picked up certain skills that equipped you to be where you are today. I might have not had the same experience. So it comes from a personal point. Is what are your thoughts on what are skill sets founders and business owners should have as a prerequisite, and what are your thoughts on how should founders go about their mental health and their well-being?
Yeah.
Because that impacts the performance of the entire organization. Right? You're the leader at the company. So if your mental health is not where it's ideally supposed to be as a founder, it's going to take a toll on the organization. So what are your thoughts overall on certain skills that a founder should have that it can be self-assessed, and two, what should be the ideal frame of mind? I come from a chain of thought where I feel business owners should think like athletes.
Yeah.
Because that's how you sort of keep upgrading your skill sets season after season after season, and that's how you're able to perform. That's how I look at it. But I'd love to know your thoughts on this, and it's very important that we're able to share this message with the youth of the country.
Got it. Skill sets to become a founder. I think first and foremost, I think you need to be absolutely clear on what you're trying to get to, and what you're trying to build for. I think that does evolve with time, but I think it's more of a process of creation. You need to persevere with what you're going through. I think an intense amount of perseverance,
right?
Because the initial days are just really, really tough, and it does get easier with time, but you will constantly be fighting a battle, right, for survival.
Correct.
I think that's really what it is. So I think that tenacity that you want
right,
in a personality trait, I think is crucial. Having said that, just a lot of other skill sets that go into it. As a founder, I think I have the privilege and the luxury of actually working on a very diverse range of functions on a day in day out basis,
right,
and that's one of the things I love about this business, about being a business owner, wherein
right,
I get to one day I'm solving for technology, the other day I'm solving for marketing,
right,
third day it's something HR,
right.
So I think it's allowing me to really solve for a lot of different things within the business,
right,
and I think that's something that if a business owner enjoys, I think it obviously makes the process a lot better. So I think that's really good.
Interesting. I think this question is again, if you wish to answer, I think there's a lot of conversation about work-life balance that's going on currently, and the impact of work on relationships with family, with loved ones, friends, etc. How do you manage those, if at all? If you want to, again, this is fully open to you if you wish to answer that. If not, we can cut it out. That's not a problem.
No, happy to answer this. I think you rightly said. I think sometimes running a business can be quite a lonely space,
right?
And but I think I think some amount of it is inevitable. But I think building a good support system around you is crucial. People that you can talk to, and this could be friends, this could be family, this could be your partner. This could be just someone that you trust and can implicitly bounce off ideas and share, because I think effectively a lot of people are going through something like this when they're running their own business. Right. It's important to not kind of bottle it up and just have a sounding board. I think I've been lucky to build a support system for myself with this. I have a few friends that are great sounding boards.
Right.
Consult them for advice. Other business owners in this space as well. It's always good to have a chat because sometimes you might think you're the only one going through it, but you'll be pleasantly surprised.
Oh, awesome. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
As it's very, I understand that it comes from a lot of experience, this answer. So thank you for sharing that, sir. What is your message for the next generation of founders? I see that there's a thing when we were young, the narrative was, at least for me, was get a job,
Yeah.
get the right skills, get a job, get a stable income, and move ahead in life. Now we see that the ongoing narrative, even with my video team, the 20, 21-year-old kids, right, skipping college to be here, because there's been a shift in mindset.
Correct.
So what is your message to these young kids and the young audience that's watching, who aspires to be a founder of a successful business or just start up something of their own, and what are things that they should know?
I think the future is skills. It's not really a fancy degree. It's not really your job description. It's really what can you do. And if you can pick up skills like your team here right now, like fantastic kids doing really well, and young kids, right? So picking up skills, real world skills on what you can actually bring to the table really matter. And being original and true to what you really enjoy doing and get really good at it. Because I think maybe sometime back, it was okay to take a set trajectory, but I think the pace of change in industry today is just phenomenal. With buzzwords like AI and stuff like that coming in, it's fundamentally changed the way a lot of things are done, and that's going to keep changing and at a much faster pace as we go along. So I think the only way to do this is keep upskilling yourself, and it really starts when you're 18 and doesn't stop pretty much throughout your career.
Right. Awesome. So now I think we've been sort of working professionally with Kerkar Media and xppen. I think we've had a working relationship for about 6-7 years now. I'd be honored if there's any specific comments you have for us. So how your experience has been with Kerkar Media overall, and if there's any sort of feedback for the agency.
I think we've been working together for I think over 5-6 years now, and all in different capacities, from building our first website to working on our first performance marketing mandate, to SEO and a recent activity that we completed for SEO as well. I think what we've seen is Kerkar as an organization has kind of positioned itself as a partner, which I appreciate significantly. So you have got calls from me a lot of times just on advice on activities that don't really concern Kerkar Media. Could be things like a CRM, could be things on how do we improve order value both online and offline. So I think that's the kind of relationship I value, and I know that if I discuss this with an agency, it's not going to be from an ulterior motive of okay, how do we increase billings. It's honestly what the business needs, trying to solve for that. And then another really, really important thing is that I think Kerkar has upskilled itself as the industry has evolved. Your SEO mandate from 3 years back to what it is now, I think it's significantly different. And I think we've seen a marked difference in performance also. So very happy. I think y'all are evolving. But I think the fundamental being, how do we help the business make the best of what they're doing? So I think that's been great, and we resonate very well with.
I think that's the mission that we started with, is how do we sort of help SMEs grow. And I think we've done that to a large degree with almost all our clients. Touchwood, and I'm glad that xppen is a large part of that success.
And it helps that you've built this business up over the last 7-8 years yourself. So I think you recognize a lot of the struggles that businesses go through, both in terms of operations, growth, things like that. So
absolutely, I think, it's a shared experience for all of us. I think thank you for that. Just to sum things up, right? What I observed, I think my learnings from this specific conversation is I would love for you to talk. You mentioned your time as a CA, then you sort of done an MBA. Post that you were with Book My Show. What I see is a lot of adaptability and a lot of resilience. Now, is that something that you agree with? And what are your thoughts on these two skills? I think adaptability and resilience, they're skills. And what are your thoughts on these two skills in specific?
Absolutely essential in whatever that you're doing at this point of time. So I think you need to be able to understand that, okay, things are changing fast, and if you're not changing, you're going to get left behind.
Right.
So I think there's a little bit of paranoia that, okay, I need to really be on top of things and really need to understand what's going on outside. So I think it's about building that sort of belief that, okay, if there is something to be done, I will figure it out. I might not know it right now,
Right.
and I'm okay with that, but I will take some time and figure it out. So I think that's really a mentality that we have in the company. We might not be the best at everything, but that's really where we want to get to.
Right. Awesome. That's lovely. I think I'd like to sort of thank you for your time. And I really appreciate you taking this time to sort of spend with me over the last, I think, 40 minutes. I don't know where the time has gone, but thank you so much for being here. And we look forward to sort of collaborate with you in sort of all aspects and sort of help wherever help is needed. And, very honored to be associated with xppen over the last 5-6 years. And we hope to sort of continue with this relationship for many more years.
It will. It's been my pleasure. I think I've really enjoyed this chat as well, and made me think about a lot of things and our journey as well, which was good.
Awesome.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thanks.
So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope my interaction with Nishit was insightful for you guys. Quick takeaway from the video for me is an entrepreneur should have adaptability, resilience, and grit. Comment down below what other skills or values you think an entrepreneur should have today.